All right, as always, AZ Audibles with Zach Elvira from the Tribune newspapers and Eric Sorensen dropping knowledge as he's done through the years. Gentlemen, we're sitting here in mid-April. Spring football is right around the corner, and these new coaches that are coming into their programs, let's start with you, Zach. Who has the most pressure on them very, very quickly to get this thing turned around that they've inherited?
It's not necessarily a turnaround process, but I do think Nate Gill has some pressure on him at Desert Vista. That's a program that was 0-6 in Dan Hines last year during COVID. Ty Wisdom came in, made it a playoff team, hosted a playoff game for that matter. So a really nice turnaround in that season last year. That just didn't really work out. I do think the Ahwatukee community is putting pressure on Nate Gill and that Desert Vista football program to continue moving in that right direction. But they have the pieces in place to do it. So they've got the, two starting quarterbacks coming back from last year. They've got a really good defense with a great leader in Antonio Delgado. Nate Gill, I think, is going to be able to get it done. I just think it will take another year or two to be a championship caliber team, but I do think the pressure is on. I know Nate feels that pressure, but it's something that he's really embracing so far.
Guys, I think if we're painting this canvas with broad strokes, I think every job in one way or another has certain expectations and pressure. Great call, Zach, with Desert Vista. I'm going to go to another blue blood program and say Cactus. New old coach Brian Bellis, the defensive coordinator who was elevated to head coach, comes into an interesting position with the Cobras. The Cobras are on their way up to 5A, and he's stepping in for Joseph Ortiz, who is now at Perry. All Coach Ortiz did was go 36-11 at Cactus, including an open division appearance this past season. The good news is they return some skill players offensively. Will Galvin at quarterback is exceptional. They do lose quite a few pieces defensively. And when you're looking ahead, they're playing in the 5A region that includes Sunrise Mountain. It includes Desert Edge. These teams are going to be bigger up front. And Cactus has seemingly always had an issue with numbers. There's only 1,200 students in the school. How are they going to compete week in and week out going to get up against these bigger 5A schools?
What about Joe Ortiz, though, Eric? I mean, Joe Ortiz leaves and goes to Perry. He's in the Bermuda Triangle with Chandler and Hamilton and Basha. That's a tough job that he's walking into. Is there pressure on him to get it figured out?
I think there's pressure, but I don't think there's immediate pressure. Perry's been down the last couple of years. And unlike Cactus, Coach Ortiz comes into a situation. Perry's one of the biggest schools in the entire state. Mm-hmm. So the numbers are going to be there. It's just, can he keep the talented players in that area? Like you mentioned, Brad, it's a feeding frenzy. There's so much talent around that school. Keep those players in-house and develop them over the years. He's got a chance to be successful there. There's no doubt.
Zach?
I agree with Eric 100%. I don't think the pressure is going to be on him for at least another year or so. Perry's a program, or a school, I should say, that really likes to take their time with their athletic programs. We saw it with the basketball program when Sammy Dwayne came over from Corona del Sol. Mm-hmm. It took 8 years for them to turn into a championship program. Maybe Perry doesn't want to wait that long for the football team, especially because just, in recent years, they've been involved in 2 state title games. But I do think Ortiz has a little bit of time, like Eric said, to keep those players in, develop more players as they come into the program as well, and then get it going into a championship caliber program again.
Zach Elvira, Eric Sorensen, every week, dropping knowledge on AZ Audibles. Now over to Jordan Spurgeon. Really cool story at Arizona State.